And with both of those that have quite a few potholes around the country.
But one woman is taking to the streets of her hometown to do something a bit more organic about the problem.
The sun is shining and the ground is thawed, so Elaine Santor is taking on some spring planting. In the street, Elaine is creating delicate and colorful beauty in the gaping and sometimes dangerous eyesores that winter left behind. She's filling potholes with pansies.
Some people say, wow, what a great idea. What a great idea. And other people go, well, thank you. You know, and maybe something will come of it. Aren't you afraid that the trucks are going to run over it or the cars are going to run over the flowers? And I go, well, if they do, they do. But you know, I'm just making a little point here in a nice, peaceful way.
Elaine's work has not been in vain. One day later, some of the flowers are gone, but also some of the potholes have been filled.
You don't want to carry around protest and call and complain because there's enough of that going on already. So you just do something under the radar and that you like to do.
4 of the 10 impromptu planters have already been repaired, and the blacktop, while not as pretty, is likely appreciated even more.
With a little ingenuity, you can do something small and make a big difference.
Proof that action, Elaine's and apparently the city's, truly does speak louder than words.
Potholes aren't pretty, but neither is seeing pansies get run over by a 2-ton fully loaded truck.
Well, if it's getting the problem fixed, then more power to her. But just be safe out there on the roads. We are not advocating going out in the middle of the road and planting flowers. Nor are we advocating driving today if you're in an area that has a risk of tornadoes.
That's right, folks. Coming up, we're going to be talking about Torcons, what you can expect today. Be ready.
So, Jill, I ran those retirement numbers we talked about.
Okay, yeah, I see it here.
And I'm going to post that report on your screen.
How did Edward Jones come to manage over $800 billion in assets?
Got it.
So I think there are a couple of approaches we can take here.
Through FaceTime, on your terms.
So that's interesting. You know, we had spoken about that before.
It's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing.
Can you fix it, Dad?
Yeah, I can fix that. I wanted a car that could handle anything. I fixed it! That's why I got a Subaru Legacy.
Symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 36 mpg.
I gotta break more toys.
The 2015 Subaru Legacy. It's not just a sedan, it's a Subaru.
Advanced design makes it easy to protect your dog or cat from fleas and ticks. Discover Seresto. With the performance you expect from topicals in a non-greasy collar, Seresto provides protection against fleas and ticks for 8 months. Seresto.
Your eyes depend on a unique set of nutrients.
That's why there's Ocuvite. Ocuvite helps replenish key eye nutrients. Ocuvite has a unique formula that's just not found in any leading multivitamin.
Help protect your eye health with Ocuvite.
Currently in our area, 77 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 91. Tonight, partly cloudy with a slight chance of thunderstorms. Low 74. Chance of rain 30%. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 87. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Severe weather Sunday. We're waking up to severe thunderstorms across the plains in the southeast, but the threat really ramps up later today. I'm breaking down who, what, and when, so you can better prepare for the day.
Hey, more where that came from. Hey, more where this came from, too. Much needed rain heading for parts of the Midwest. It's going to be a soaker of a Sunday for you, but will be enough to help you out of the drought situation.
The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series takes a spin today in Bristol, Tennessee, but storm clouds may threaten the race. We're talking with organizers to find out their plans should severe weather break. And it certainly broke last night. Thousands of eager country music fans forced to take cover in Texas. This was at Texas Rangers Stadium there in Arlington. Heavy rain and damaging winds roared through Arlington, soaking the stage and the seats for the ACM Party for a Cause concert. Now, fans did wait it out for 2 hours.
We're prepared because it happened last night, so we're like, oh, we just know we're having to sit through it and kind of just wait for it to end up being worth it.
These fans and families had to dodge quarter-size hail and winds that gusted 60 miles plus per hour. Arlington, also the site of tonight's ACM Awards inside the AT&T Stadium. That does have a roof on it because that's Cowboy Stadium.
There you go.
The ballpark in Arlington, though, the Rangers where they play, it is open. And I got to tell you, my phone was blowing up last night with friends and family saying, what is going on? Severe thunderstorms roaring through. It was dangerous.
Perfectly understandable. Very frightening situation, and it's sad to say that we might see a bit more of that spelling out today along parts of the Gulf Coast. Kate Parker, I'm Reynolds Wolf, by the way, and Dr. Greg Postel. Very busy times, it looks like, today along the coast.
Let's look at the big picture right now, because one of the main items of attention here is the risk for severe weather today, covering a large area all the way from the southern plains to the southeast. We'll keep you covered.
You know, no one wants to deal with that, but they do want to deal with the rainfall moving into the upper Midwest. Look at this. Scattered showers exactly where they need them, including much of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and yes, even Iowa.
Maybe good for the agriculture, bad for your plans. Your plans looking good today in the Northeast again, but rain is creeping on closer. Could it be a treacherous start to your work week drive? We're going to tell you about that in just a second.
I've got a feeling you're going to say yes on that. Hey, folks, I don't want to say yes to this. Today, we're talking more than 50 million people under the threat for severe weather today. The threat crosses over 14 different states, guys. Here's a look at what some cities are going to face in terms of the biggest threat. We've got Houston lined up for you. That's one spot. Another Norman, Oklahoma, home of the Sooners. Eureka Springs in Arkansas. And then the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, Atlanta, Georgia. That's a shot taken high atop the World Coca-Cola headquarters, where you have 67 degrees currently there, 55 in Eureka Springs, and in Houston, 61 degrees, checking in with 52. In Norman, Oklahoma. So again, all those spots, folks, if you live anywhere in those cities or in close proximity, anywhere along the Gulf Coast, be advised there is a very real chance of severe weather. Again, the number we're talking, roughly 50 million Americans dealing with a chance of severe storms. We're going to talk about that. Kate, let's pitch it right back over to you, my friend.
Yeah, you know, this is like the song that never ends, except it's the forecast that never ends. Another day of wet and possibly even severe weather across the south.
Yeah, we've got a pretty large area that's going to be covered with severe weather, we think, today, all the way from the southern plains to the southeast. Look at our graphics, which show you an area outlined in red, which is, we think, the area most likely to see some severe storms all the way from Texas down through Florida. So that's a pretty big deal.
What are we talking about threat-wise? Is it going to be more the hail and the damaging winds, or tornadoes also something we're keeping an eye out for?
Probably the first two, the hail and the high winds, still the primary modes, but you can't rule out the possibility of tornado. I think the actual tornado risk today is a little higher than it was yesterday. Our Torcons of 4 are out for that region that we outlined in red. But also, Kate, a lot of heavy rain. We've got a soupy air mass in place. Look at the radar. I mean, it's storming pretty much everywhere, all the way from Arkansas through Mississippi, Alabama. We do have one severe thunderstorm warning in the panhandle of Florida.
Yeah, that's a fast-moving one, but it's moving just north of Pensacola there. Escambia, Santa Rosa counties. I mean, do you expect that this will remain severe as it continues to move inland?
A little bit, probably for a little while longer, but I think it will gradually lose its power. But there's a lot more on its heels where it came from. Look at the stuff over the Gulf of Mexico. My goodness, this is going to continue to roll in, and parts of Alabama and Mississippi right now are being monitored closely for the possibility of maybe a watch being issued later on this morning. So things are happening early as we get a lot of little perturbations in the atmosphere here that are going to be uncorking it and releasing the instability that's already in place. Look at some of these dew points, Kate, that are out there, and that is going to support thunderstorm development across the southeast as we go through the morning and afternoon hours.
So Louisiana has already seen some pretty big thunderstorms today. We could see more tonight. Let's go back over to Reynolds with more.
That's right. We were talking, a Torcana 4, I believe, for parts of the area, including places like Shreveport, Louisiana, where the city of Shreveport, certainly within the crosshairs of that severe weather threat. They've had downed trees reported in parts of Arcadia, which is just to the east of Shreveport. And joining us now by phone is Jason Hansford. He's the senior meteorologist with the National Weather Service office in Shreveport. Jason, thank you so much for getting up early with us. Can you tell us about the current conditions that you have in Shreveport for the moment?
Yeah, conditions here across really much of North Louisiana have really quieted down from what we've seen really since about the midnight hour here. The convective system has pretty much exited the Arklatex region here, and so skies are pretty much overcast, and the atmosphere has been really turned over from these complex of showers and thunderstorms. So we're just kind of waiting the additional heating and result in instability here through the course of the afternoon as that trough begins to swing east across the Arklatex region.
Jason, what are you thinking in terms of impacts in northern Louisiana? I mean, threats of tornadoes, is that a real possibility?
That is an isolated possibility. I think the main concern will be very large hail and damaging winds. Any kind of tornadic threat, we're thinking, may be more towards this evening across North Louisiana and South Arkansas, especially as low-level shear increases along and ahead of this dry line once the cold front overtakes the dry line here later this evening. You know,
Jason, not only I know do you and the great men and women of the Forecast Center there forecast, but you also advise people. What advice would you give them in terms of preparation for later today into the evening hours?
I would certainly advise them to kind of keep an eye to the sky. I mean, I don't think everyone will get rain, though, but this will be a very dangerous situation here, especially given the weekend activities planned. I know my church has got some activities here for this afternoon here. So just keep an eye on the sky. Stay tuned to the local TV radio stations. Have a weather radio on hand, and have an action plan in place in case you do need to use it come this late this afternoon and through this evening.
Jason Hansford, National Weather Service office out of Shreveport, Louisiana. Jason, thanks so much for your time. And Kate, seriously, that's something that I would say not just in Louisiana, but all across the Southeast and the Gulf Coast, they've got to be ready for that potential today.
Including Alabama, where we just had a brand new severe thunderstorm pop up. This severe thunderstorm warning, including Conecuh County, Covington counties, Butler counties. We're going to bring you that on radar when we come back on AMHQ Weekend. We have a lot of rain in the forecast. Some of it is beneficial, falling across the upper Midwest. Some areas, including the Twin Cities, really need it. Did you know that they're in a moderate drought? We're going to bring you that forecast and have a look at what's going on with the Boston Marathon as well.
I've got plans, and this is my baby right now. So it's just not the right time to get pregnant. That's why I chose Skyla. Skyla is the small, flexible IUD that prevents pregnancy for up to 3 years. So for me, there are no daily pills or monthly refills. I got my Skyla placed in just a few minutes at my OBGYN's office. And if I want to try to get pregnant, I can get it removed whenever I want.
If you have a pelvic infection, get infections easily, or have certain cancers, don't use Skyla. Less than 1% of users get a serious infection called PID. If you have persistent pelvic or stomach pain, or if Skyla comes out, tell your doctor. Skyla may attach or go through the uterus and cause other problems. Pregnancy while using Skyla is uncommon, but can be life-threatening and may result in loss of pregnancy or fertility. Ovarian cysts may occur, but usually disappear. Bleeding and spotting may increase in the first 3 to 6 months and remain irregular. Periods over time usually become shorter, lighter, or may stop. Skyla does not protect against HIV or STDs.
Talk to your OBGYN about making the move to Skyla.
Check with your insurance to find out if you can get Skyla at no cost.
Run away with me. This award season, the red carpet has shades of green. The spotlight shines all day. And the Jeep Grand Cherokee lets you go where others can't. 2 kids, you and me. So you end up with the best seats in the house. The 2015 Jeep Award Season event. Well-qualified lessees can lease the 2015 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo 4x4 for $349 a month.
All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. We love to see your pictures. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well right here on AMHQ.
Currently in our area, 77 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 91. Tonight, partly cloudy with a slight chance of thunderstorms. Low 74. Chance of rain 30%. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 87. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
We are still in the eye, and we're still trying to get at the same place.
She is in labor right now.
We know more about this system hour by hour.
This is our Pineapple Express pumping in that rainfall.
We are talking about a doozy of a storm.
All right, folks, welcome back. It is time to talk about what we're going to be seeing across parts of the... Okay.
Well, hey, you know what? We are going to talk about the radar as well. Reynolds, there he is. Yeah. There he is. This is what we're talking about. Now, Alabama, a place that you're obviously very familiar with, Reynolds. We are talking about a severe thunderstorm warning. This includes Butler, Covington, Crenshaw counties, places like Andalusia, Brantley, Luverne. You are under the severe thunderstorm warning. It is a fast-moving storm, moving 55 miles an hour just south of Montgomery there. You're going to see this continue off to the northeast, including places like we were just saying, Henderson, Highland Home. You're going to be about 7:13 a.m. that we're watching for this. So obviously this is a thunderstorm that it has been considered severe. Wind gusts 60 miles an hour in this. We could see some hail. Please do not leave your home. Take cover. Get away from windows. That's what you should be doing right now in Alabama. Reynolds.
Smart advice, Kate. Loud morning in the wiregrass of southern Alabama. Now, we make our way farther to the north in the Midwest. The gym in the Midwest, you've got Minneapolis, 48 degrees, this beautiful shot from actually St. Paul looking back towards downtown Minneapolis. It is a beautiful sight. Showers this morning, you're going to reach a high of 60 today. You're also going to be seeing something else, or at least feeling it. The raindrops, you definitely need them, and they will be coming in. What's interesting about parts of the upper Midwest, you've had actually deficit in terms of your rainfall and your snowfall. So yes, a very real situation in terms of the drought, and this is going to be some much needed relief. Now, certainly the drought is not been the magnitude of what they've been dealing with out on the West Coast, but still it's been fairly substantial. We'll get some help this morning. St. Louis this morning, not so much in terms of rainfall yet, but farther south in Paducah, Cape Girardeau, you've had the rainfall this morning. Few rumbles of thunder too. Back on the deficit, places that have been dealing with a lack of moisture. One is Minneapolis, the other is Fargo, Green Bay, Wisconsin, Detroit. All these places, you'll notice the rainfall deficit on one side, the other column shows the snowfall deficit. Some of the staggering, especially when you get to Fargo, minus 33.2 inches of snowfall. That's what they're lacking. Well, this is what they're not lacking in this trough, this area of low pressure. Very potent upper level system that's going to zoom its way across the region, bringing the scattered showers, maybe some raindrops in next week. It's not going to just drop in parts of the Midwest or Great Lakes. It's going to continue to move. And this movement will bring it up into portions of the Northeast, where eventually Boston, you'll be expecting those scattered showers. But as it stands in the Midwest, we take you hour by hour from Omaha to Des Moines. From Indianapolis, outside Louisville, we've got the scattered showers. Chicago dealing with it. Detroit, you'll have some scattered showers. Commerce Township, be ready. The rain is coming. If we're in Minneapolis, yes, you'll be getting some rainfall. But northern Minnesota might actually get a little touch of snowfall in the mix too. That's what you can expect through the morning on Monday. Wrapping it up, take a look. Clouds, best chance of rain for Minneapolis, 1 p.m. today. All right, Kate, let's send it back over to you.
Hard to believe that a few places across the country are going to be a little envious of Boston's weather today, but that's just the case. Gorgeous, sunny city getting ready for one of the largest marathons in the country, which kicks off tomorrow. But we have a bit of bad news. Although it's sunny today, that may not be the case for the race. The 119th running of the Boston Marathon steps off tomorrow, as it always does on Patriots Day. 30,000 runners are lacing up and cheering them on, 1 million of their biggest fans. Now, preparations are in full swing on the heels of a winter for the history books. 110 plus inches of snow. NECN's Jeff Saperson is in Boston with a preview for us. Now, Jeff, it was an epic winter. We saw snow. It was endless. Are any runners saying that this had an impact on their training for the big day?
Yeah, you know, Kate, it certainly did have an impact. We've done a number of stories while they were training. It delayed a lot of training in certain cases. A lot of people had to run indoors practice. They got a late start to getting outside because there were huge snowbanks everywhere. But you know what? The snow is gone. We're not complaining right now. And you know what? Even though it will rain tomorrow, no snow. So no complaints here. Let me show you what's going on here. This is the finish line. Always a great spot to see on the weekend right before the marathon. You can see runners. They are practicing. They kind of run through the course, get a feel for what it's like, crossing that finish line there. You can see some of the folks here from all over the world coming in. Again, 30,000 runners expected. There were 10,000 runners yesterday in a 5K here in the city of Boston. A lot of the marathoners take part in that to get their feet ready for the big race today. You know, a shorter race, kind of build it up. Tonight, you'll see a lot of those runners getting home early, loading up on carbs, and getting ready for the big race tomorrow. So again, rain is expected and cool temperatures.
Yeah, that's the best part, right, Jeff? The carb loading. That's the fun part for them. So thank you so much. We're going to see if rain impacts any times tomorrow, and we'll be watching that very closely. Thank you for your report from Boston there. All right.
He's very Keith Carson-ish. Did you notice him?
Was he?
Very, very similar.
Did he have tight pants on?
Story for another time. All right, folks, stay with us on AMHQ Weekend for these stories that are coming up. The stories, well, the threat of severe weather spills out on the plains into the Mississippi Valley. Today, we're going to pinpoint the timing of these potentially dangerous storms that could affect millions of you. And it's been a rainy spring for some of the nation's retailers. That story coming up.
Fact. Advil is not only strong, it's gentle on your body, too. No wonder doctors and patients have trusted Advil for their tough pains for over 30 years. Relief doesn't get any better than this. Advil.
The 306 horsepower Lexus GS. Experience the next level of performance, and there's no going back. Lease the 2015 GS 350F Sport with complimentary navigation system for these terms. See your Lexus dealer.
He says she's an undisciplined overwaterer. She claims he's a cruel underwaterer. With Miracle-Gro Moisture Control Potting Mix, plants only get water when they need it. Fight ended or shifted. Miracle-Gro. Life starts here.
Gone fishing. It's a sign that means we've locked up and headed off to do something we love. Luckily, there's an entire state dedicated to those little signs, with 19 million acres of woods. Gone biking. Gone golfing, and the world's longest freshwater coastline. Gone rock skipping, gone sailing, gone wandering. Meet you on the playgrounds of Pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
Constant Contact gives you all the best email marketing tools, like newsletters and event invites. So whether you run a small business or a nonprofit, you can connect with, well, everyone. Try email marketing free at ConstantContact.com.
I'm Sam. Jim's here as well this morning.
We're all in this together.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was good.
And if you're watching AMHQ, then you know we got you up and out this morning. We love to see your pictures. All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well.
Habitat for Humanity of Palm Beach County is a nonprofit organization dedicated to bringing people together to build safe, decent, affordable housing to serve low-income and hard-working families in our community. You can help Habitat's mission through home sponsorship, monetary donations, volunteering, or by donating sellable household items and building supplies to our restores. You can learn more at habitatpbc.org.
You used to sleep like a champ. Then boom, what happened? Stress, fun, bad habits, kids? Now what? Let's build a new, smarter bed using the dual air chambers to sense your movement, heartbeat, breathing. Introducing the Sleep Number bed with Sleep IQ technology. It tracks your sleep and tells you how to adjust for a good, better, and an awesome night. The difference? Try adjusting up or down. You'll know because Sleep IQ tells you. Only at a Sleep Number store where you'll find the Best Buy rated mattress with Sleep IQ technology. No better sleep with Sleep Number.
Tonight at 9.
One man's trash.
This is perfect.
Is another man's wood-powered Jeep gasifier.
Brainstormers. Tonight at 9. Only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 91. Tonight, partly cloudy with a slight chance of thunderstorms. Low 74. Chance of rain 30%. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 87. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Okay, so take a look at this. No, that's not snow, that's hail. This happened after severe storms rolled through Sterling, Colorado, dropping tons of the tiny pea-sized hailstones. And knowing how large hail can get, pea-size, something you can handle, usually doesn't cause too much damage to the car, but slippery conditions, absolutely. So, Dr. Greg Loistel is with us here in the lab. What are the odds that we could see some hail develop today with the storms along the Gulf Coast?
On the Gulf Coast, probably 20–30%, I would say. But for them, I think the bigger risk, maybe even some brief tornadoes or some high winds, straight line winds, because there's some pretty potent atmosphere, a lot of moisture moving northward from the Gulf of Mexico with a lot of energy in the jet stream.
Are you surprised by how expansive the situation is going to be today? How much ground we're covering in terms of the severe weather potential?
Never surprised, Reynolds.
No.
No, it's a very large chunk of the country that's really at risk for severe weather today across parts of the southern plains all the way through the southeast. Everywhere there shaded in red has a shot at seeing some thunderstorms today. Some of those could be severe, including high winds and hail, and also maybe even a tornado or two.
Wow, already popping up in parts of Florida and Alabama, looks like.
Indeed, we got the severe thunderstorm warnings out here now for parts of Alabama. Here, this is now Butler, Covington, and Crenshaw counties until 7 a.m. Central Time. This storm is going to be passing just, at least the worst of it, just to the west of Andalusia. It's moving northeast at 55, Reynolds. So some of the locations that will be impacted by this storm, which could have some of those high winds with it, are all the way up to Luverne. So, and there's no reason to think that this one's going to go away anytime soon. So take precaution if you live in those cities for the possibility of this storm to move in with a lot of lightning, heavy rain, and some high winds as well.
One thing I got to ask you about the nature of these storms, although we're seeing this batch that you've just circled popping up, are we going to be seeing this periodically throughout the afternoon?
Yep, we're going to be watching that guy, that whole cluster, that mess of heavy rain and big storms roll inland. I would not be surprised to see quite a few more severe thunderstorm warnings as that disturbance rolls in. You can see at upper levels kind of showing up on the enhanced satellite pictures. There's some big thunderstorms right about there. Boom, right in here. And that is going into southern parts of the United States, where we do think now the SPC has issued an area, what's called a mesoscale discussion, where they think issuing a watch is a couple of hours.
Serious convection and seriously a chance of some danger into the afternoon hours.
Yeah, we've got the juiciest air mass we've seen in a while, with dew points in the 70s in the Florida Panhandle, in the 60s all the way up through parts of Tennessee. So this moist flow adding fuel to the storms that are going to be rolling off the Gulf of Mexico and into the southeast later on this morning and early afternoon. That's going to continue. But then we got to watch out later on this afternoon for some big storms, perhaps even ones, maybe even some supercells rolling out of parts of Alabama and getting into North Georgia as well. And that's not it, Reynolds. There's more back out to the west. Let's go 2:30 this afternoon. I put the shade of dew point on here, but the back edge of the dew point here, the higher dew points, that's where the dry line is. Watch out for new thunderstorms to develop right along that as we move through the afternoon and evening hours. Louisiana, Texas, you may think your storms are over for now, but they'll probably return later on this afternoon and evening. Some of those could be severe.
Yeah, we could be cashing in on some serious rough weather, maybe some heavy rainfall. Hey, and speaking of cashing in, let's send it over to Kate. She's got the latest on how the storms have been affecting the economy.
Yeah, you know, we are going to see these storms moving east, putting a little bit of a damper on spring, but it may be big business for some retailers once the sky's cleared. Now, here to discuss what this rain might mean for business and how you can plan your shopping is business expert and weather expert Paul Walsh. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Kate.
Well, okay, we are talking about rain in the east. It has been a soaker in the south. How important is this weather in terms of driving retail sales in the spring?
Well, Kate, weather is hugely important in terms of driving sales, and it's because it shapes what we do on a weekend, where we go, and it also influences what we buy. So when you see this kind of weather across large metropolitan areas, it can cause swings in sales of 30 or 40% or more. So it's a huge influence on the economy and, of course, on all of us.
Now, with all this rain, have you seen a lot of retail sales that are going online where people aren't wanting to go out to the store as much?
That's true. We live in a new world now where we have those other options in terms of shopping. But shopping for a lot of people is really a social activity. And so when it is raining like this, it does tend to sort of put a damper on that. Interestingly, though, Kate, we've seen a pretty strong start to the spring buying season. And that's counterintuitive, I think, to a lot of people in the Northeast and the Midwest, but it's been a pretty mild March relative to last year. And we had this cabin fever outbreak that really propelled things. But I think the party may be just about over, though.
What are some of the hot items do you think that we are just going to be dying to get our hands on once this rain clears out?
Yeah, well, Kate, you've probably heard the old saying, April showers bring May flowers. And when you have a lot of April showers, that brings a lot of May flowers. And so what we're going to see is a lot of strong demand for outdoor items, lawn and garden items. And the good news for us is the fact that we're seeing all this rain now in the end of April. Well, we may actually see some bargains as we move into May. So there's going to be some bargains for us, but you might want to start thinking about buying now because there's going to be a run on those items as we move later on in the month.
I like bargain shopping. Thank you for the good news there. Okay, These are the stories that you're going to see ahead on this Sunday edition of AMHQ Weekend. We have rain in the Midwest and the South today. Next in line, the Northeast. The forecast setting up for a miserable commute.
How do I get hotel deals nobody else gets?
Trust me, I'm a great negotiator.
Priceline Negotiator.
60% off.
40.
60.
40.
60.
40.
40.
60.
Trust me, they can't say no to me. I've been doing this for 20 years.
Can I get an upgrade?
Trust me, and you'll never overpay again. Seriously?
I'm trusting you.
Exclusive hotel deals up to 60% off. Priceline.com.
It's easy to buy insurance and forget about it. But the more you learn about your coverage, the more gaps you may find. Like how you thought you were covered for this.
It's a profound statement.
But you're not even covered for this.
It's a profound statement.
Or how you may be covered for this, but not for something like this. Talk to farmers and see what gaps could be hiding in your coverage.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
It's more than a network and the cloud. It's reliable uptime and multi-layered security. It's how you stay connected to each other and to your customers. With CenturyLink, you get advanced technology solutions, including an industry-leading broadband network and cloud and hosting services, all with dedicated, responsive support. With CenturyLink as your trusted technology partner, you're free to focus on growing your business. CenturyLink, your link to what's next.
From the very start, I wanted Fitcore to be different. If you come to me, it's because you want to do what I do because I don't do what other people do. It's kind of like creating a brand for myself.
Your business is unique. Your marketing should be too. With Vistaprint, it will be. Put your personal touch on 500 business cards starting at just $9.99. Just enter promo code TV500 at Vistaprint.com.
Stay true to yourself. You can do this how you want to do it, and somebody else is going to think that's awesome and want to do it that way too.
Vistaprint.com.
We are still in the eye, and we're still trying to get in a safe place.
She is in labor right now.
We know more about this system hour by hour.
This is our Pineapple Express pumping in that rainfall.
We are talking about a doozy of a storm.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 91. Tonight, partly cloudy with a slight chance of thunderstorms. Low 74. Chance of rain 30%. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 87. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Right on top of us. And then it hit. When you took it to the edge, didn't give up.
Well, we've talked a lot about these severe storms. Exactly. Isn't that a great shot? I mean, or a scary one. That's some of the weather across parts of Oklahoma that had so many people talking and taking pictures. You see some of the images there that were sent in to us on. Wow. Exactly. Seriously, the adjectives, the things you guys are saying about these are pretty extraordinary. Again, a funnel cloud that you see over parts of Oklahoma. Good news, there were no reports of tornadoes, despite just how ominous those clouds were.
Look like spaceship clouds.
They did.
I can't do it. Can you? There we go.
You had winds of actually up to 70 miles per hour in Bridge Creek,
Scotty, beam me up.
Did it look like Land of the Lost?
It did, very similar. Yeah, it's a land we all love, and the land we all love is going to be affected by rough weather today, folks. Welcome back to AMHQ Weekend. We've had so much active weather here lately. Yesterday alone, we had over 1,300 storm reports. We had hail, funnel clouds, even tornadoes, fog, and snow in the mix, too.
Right, and you know, today's going to be one of those very active days for a lot of people, especially in the south central part of the United States and the southeast. Let's go to the radar, because on the radar, you very quickly get the idea how busy things are now and how busy they're going to be. Look at this. And we have severe thunderstorm warnings already in effect this morning. A lot of times we think these things are reserved for late afternoon and evening. Not today. We've got Okaloosa and Santa Rosa counties in the Panhandle of Florida. A severe thunderstorm warning there until 7:15, and then another one farther to the north for Butler, Covington, and Crenshaw counties. This is in Alabama, moving through Andalusia. So these guys are all capable of producing some winds, perhaps up to 60 miles per hour. That is, along with lightning and heavy rain, the hazards associated with these guys. They're moving northeastward at 55 knots. That's almost 60 miles per hour. They will be on you very quickly.
That forward motion is incredible.
Yeah.
You put some winds in there with it, you're going to see some big impacts. It's going to be on you quick.
Yes.
No surprise, what you guys are talking about is actually the top story that will be affecting millions of people. We're talking, again, millions that are under the severe weather threat along parts of the Gulf Coast and into the Ohio Valley.
It is a massive. From Texas all the way to the Atlantic coast and then going up into southern Illinois, you have the risk of these strong thunderstorms today, damaging wind, hails, and an isolated tornado. DGP, Dr. Postel, going to break it down for you.
Absolutely. No one wants to deal with that. However, in parts of the Midwest, they do want to deal with the rainfall. They've had a lack of rain, a lack of snowfall. They're going to have a soggy Sunday, which is actually a welcome thing in the Midwest.
Yeah, you know, the agriculture really needs it. Your grass, your lawns, you want this rain. You're in a bit of a drought. But I know you don't want it for your Sunday plans. So kind of a double-edged sword there.
Absolutely. The plans you're going to have for parts of the Northeast, they better include an umbrella, because, yes, a lot of this is going to be migrating its way. The great migration into the Northeast over the next several days, including Boston, Kate.
I think 95, Monday morning commute, you are going to see some problems, so it's time to plan ahead. Maybe set that alarm, go to bed a little early tonight, set that alarm a little early tomorrow so you can be ready, focused on the road in the rain tomorrow. I tell you where people were focused last night. The DFW Metroplex cleaning up today. This is after severe storms blew through last night. Now, Arlington's police department snapped this picture. This was of the clouds gathering, obviously very ominous looking, over AT&T Stadium. That's Cowboy Stadium there in the distance. 75 mile an hour wind gusts roared in. We had damage to homes, trees, power lines are widespread with those damage, that damage into the southwest. In Hood County, we did have reports of a tornado there. Here's the deal. I had my sister blowing up my phone last night saying, what is going on? These are big thunderstorms. I just kind of want to let you know what's going on with this risk as we go through tomorrow, because we do have it still in the forecast, this risk of strong to even severe weather. So here's what's going on. Your Torcon for Shreveport, Louisiana, A 4. That's for later on this afternoon. The timing crucial here because you already had some rain come through earlier today. But later tonight, we have another round of this. Now, later on tonight in Memphis, Tennessee, you have a Torcon of 4. Tupelo, Mississippi, you have a Torcon of 4. That's a 40% chance of seeing a tornado within 50 miles of any of those areas. Here are the ingredients that are going into this. It's not just the fact that we have this dip in the jet stream that has very slowly been swinging off to the east. It's all this moisture that we have coming out of the south. And what we're going to see happen are kind of these little blips of energy that are going to be creating those showers and thunderstorms. And you have that low-level jet in place. So once they form, they have the ability to be long-lived. They're going to have the energy that they need to live long and prosper, unfortunately. So this is what's going on with that forecast along the Gulf Coast, kind of going ahead on the radar here. You'll notice that we have a soaking rain, very heavy downpours, and large thunderstorms that will be pushing off to the east. But watch this later tonight. Here's that next cluster. It's going to be making its way through. The drying happens very slowly. If you're saying, hey, when do we get a break from this? It's not going to happen too quickly for you. It's going to be a slow process for you all the way into your Monday morning. That's when the East Coast starts to get a little bit of a soaker there. So this is the area today that is under the risk of severe weather. It's going to be from Houston all the way to Jacksonville, Florida, on up to St. Louis, Missouri. Your risks here. High winds, that's going to be a primary threat for us. You could also see some pretty large hail, and the isolated tornado risk is there in the forecast. So whatever your Sunday plans may be, it's time to adjust them. It's time to say, hey, I need to make sure that I'm near a radar at all times. Being able to watch the Weather Channel, being able to have it on my the app on my phone, whatever it may be that you need, it's time to go ahead and plan for that. In Memphis, this is what your forecast looks like. You'll see some thunderstorms later on this afternoon, and maybe right around dinner time you get a little clearing, and then later tonight you have another one. We do have a tornado warning now, Reynolds, though, that I see.
You're right. It just happened. You know exactly what you were talking about moments ago, Kate. Just the idea that we've got a very unstable atmosphere over parts of the Gulf Coast. The result that we have now is this tornado warning. This is in effect for the counties of Oskaloosa and Santa Rosa, cities of Laurel Hill and Munson. A little bit of rotation with this cell that we see, this storm that's drifting its way to the northeast. To get a better handle of what we can expect, let's send it back over to Dr. Greg Postel.
I mean, we were talking about this cluster of thunderstorms moving north from the Gulf of Mexico into the Panhandle. One of these storms has triggered the tornado warning right here for Okaloosa and Santa Rosa counties. Let's have a look at that up close on the map. This is in the far western part of the Panhandle of Florida until 7:15 a.m. Central Time. The storms have been moving very quickly northeast at about 50, but this tornado warning is for a part of the storm that is moving northeast at really only about 20 miles per hour. So the area of concern is actually what we're looking here is the Doppler velocity. So we're looking at the radar, the wind motions inside of that thunderstorm. The area of concern would be right about in here. We're not seeing a very tight couplet. If you can zoom in maybe a little bit, Justin, we can see on that thing the differing motions of the radar. You can see there's trying to show a circulation there. This is a radar indicated rotation there. We'll keep an eye on it. But if you live, for example, in Munson, let's time it out, Justin, over the next little while, moving northeast at 20. Watch out for locations in that area as this thing moves on off toward the northeast. Likely the possibility of a brief tornado in there. They're the locations that will be impacted by this particular storm. Stay tuned for all the latest. It is going to be an active morning ahead with thunderstorms popping up with very little warning. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Advanced Design makes it easy to protect your dog or cat from fleas and ticks. Discover Seresto. With the performance you expect from topicals in a non-greasy collar, Seresto provides protection against fleas and ticks for 8 months. Seresto.
Your eyes depend on a unique set of nutrients.
That's why there's Ocuvite. Ocuvite helps replenish key eye nutrients. Ocuvite has a unique formula that's just not found in any leading multivitamin.
Help protect your eye health with Ocuvite.
Introducing the new Can-Am Spyder F3. With a cruising riding position and the most advanced vehicle stability system in the industry, you'll ride with a feeling of complete freedom and confidence. Visit your Can-Am dealer and test drive the Spyder F3 today.
You owned your car for 4 years. You named it Brad. You loved Brad. And then you totaled him. You two had been through everything together. 2 boyfriends, 3 jobs. You're like, nothing can replace Brad. Then Liberty Mutual calls, and you break into your happy dance.
If you sign up for Better Car Replacement, we'll pay for a car that's a model year newer with 15,000 fewer miles than your old one. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
The Fiat 500 isn't alone anymore.
It's part of a big Italian family.
Life changes. A small business's life is no different. That's why Constant Contact email marketing is built to evolve with your business, month to month, year to year. So whether it's an email to reach new fans and customers, or a quick and easy way to announce a big sale, Constant Contact's email marketing and free expert coaching are all you'll need, no matter how much things change. Help your small business do more business. Try email marketing free at ConstantContact.com.
The FDA issued a public notice to doctors and patients concerning serious injuries caused by transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, and bladder sling. Please call now if you had one of these devices implanted in the last 5 years. You may be entitled to a cash award. If you had a transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, or bladder sling in the last 5 years,
please call 1-866-686-7952 now.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 91. Tonight, partly cloudy with a slight chance of thunderstorms. Low 74. Chance of rain 30%. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 87. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to AMHQ Weekends. We have some severe weather ongoing right now in parts of the Panhandle of Florida. Let's go to the radar, show you a tornado warning that was just issued. This is for Okaloosa and Santa Rosa counties until 7:15 a.m. Central Time. If you live in Laurel Hill or Munson, take cover. There is a possible tornado inside of a thunderstorm that is moving through the Milton area right now, and it is moving northeast. The thunderstorm, parts of it pretty quickly, but the part of the storm that the Weather Service is most concerned about is moving northeast at about 20. Here are some of the locations that will be impacted by the worst part of this storm all the way through Falco. That would be at 7:03 a.m. So be on the lookout for the possibility of a tornado inside of the storm. Let's look at the high resolution radar here. Now this is a close-in tight shot of that thunderstorm. They're looking at this part right in here because there is a little bit of a hook echo in here. So this is a supercell. It's got a rotating updraft, and if you want to look at the rotation inside of that to see if indeed there is some rotation there. You can see the reds and the greens. I would call this a broad rotation in there, about like that, but still there is a possibility as the circulation moves on off in that direction. So again, Laurel Hill, be on the lookout for this storm moving close by, and other locations in southern Alabama. We'll have much more on this storm as we go through the morning hours, and all the others that pop up with little advance warning. Guys, back to you.
Dr. Greg, thank you so much. Well, folks, NASCAR's Food City 500 is scheduled to run today in Bristol, Tennessee, but the area is going to be dealing with wet weather. We want to see how race officials are preparing for that precipitation. So we go now to Jerry Caldwell. He's the Executive Vice President, General Manager for Bristol Motor Speedway. He joins us by Skype. And Jerry, how is it looking so far for the 1 p.m. start?
Good morning. Right now it's looking great. We're prepared if we were to get some weather, but right now we are on schedule and everything's looking great.
So if the rain does come in and it does happen to be heavy, what steps does NASCAR take when that occurs?
Well, we obviously will have our plans in place and enact those to get our employees out, making sure that the race fans are taken care of, that they can get to some shelter. And then NASCAR has the equipment in place to dry the track as quickly as possible. Thankfully, here at Bristol Motor Speedway, our track can dry very quickly. So we can be ready to race from the time the rain stops in 45 minutes or so.
That's a very, very quick turnaround. Now the cars, now what happens when you have the heavy rainfall? They call a delay, the cars go back into pit row. What exactly are the steps? Can you walk us through?
Sure, there'd be a delay. They would cover up the cars, and you kind of just wait it out from there. And then once the rain stops, they're able to get the jet dryers and the air Titans on the track quickly and go ahead and start that process. And with that latest equipment that they have with NASCAR, we are able to dry the track very quickly and get right back to racing at the Food City 500.
You know, Jerry, a lot of people have noticed, especially during football season, when you have these stadiums that are filled with thousands of people and you have lightning in the area, people take shelter immediately. Are the same rules apply for NASCAR? If you do have thunderstorms pop up, there is lightning, do you request that people take cover?
Absolutely. We always encourage our race fans to take cover and precautions. We're going to err on the side of safety anytime that's the case, and make sure that our fans are taken care of and encourage them to seek cover.
Okay, Jerry Caldwell, hopefully the things will be fine for you from the start all the way to the checkered flag. But again, watch out for those raindrops. Again, thanks so much, Jerry. Hopefully safe driving for everyone out there today. All right, Kate, let's send it back over to you.
We have torcons of 4 across several states in the southeast this morning, with more than 50 million people under threat of severe weather today. We're going to time out your impacts hour by hour. Plus, as the epic drought grips Californians, the extremes of some people are going to save water in the name of helping the drought. Let's go ahead and take a live look again at this tornado warning in effect right now. This is for the panhandle of Florida. This includes Okaloosa, Santa Rosa counties, Laurel Hill, Munson. You're the cities that are impacted here. Until 7:15 a.m. Central Time, it is time to take cover. Lowest level of your home. You want to be away from windows. Make sure that you're in an interior bathroom, hallway, whatever you can get to. Right now is the time. If you live in Munson, you are right on the verge of this storm right now. The possible tornado, it is radar indicated. We do not have a visual confirmation here. 7:02 a.m. is where we're going to see that move next. Dr. Postel up next.
Joseph A. Bank presents Your Choice, Your Savings. Sport coats, pants, polos, shorts, and more. Purchase one item and receive 2 free. Plus, all traveler shirts are 3 for $99 through Tuesday. Joseph A. Bank, the new tradition since 1905.
My feet felt so heavy at the end of the day.
They used to get really tired.
Until I started gelling.
I got Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
When they're in my shoes, my feet and legs feel less tired.
It's like walking on a wave.
Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
I'm a believer.
I got bit by a snake.
C'est pas poison.
Poison?
Okay, oh wow. Okay, yeah, I feel that.
C'est pas poison.
That's definitely poison.
Apparently, I'm immune to venom.
Immune to
venom? Steve.
I don't know what I should do next.
Do what everybody else does. Start a business. Build yourself a website.
Welcome to T.O.'s Humble Pie.
With Wix.com.
Let's party!
We make it easy to create your own all-pro website. All by yourself.
Farve and carve.
You did that yourself?
Don't look so surprised.
Go to Wix.com. Create your website today.
All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. We love to see your pictures. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well right here on AMHQ.
The Luxury Uncovered event is going on now at Alpacker Lincoln. Enjoy exceptional savings on your favorite Lincoln models, like an MKZ, gas or hybrid, just $249 a month, or the all-new 2015 Lincoln MKC, just $289 a month. And bottom line windshield pricing on over 200 new Lincolns. The Luxury Uncovered event at Alpacker Lincoln on Military Trail. And remember, before you buy, price Packer.
Take the roar out of snore. Yet another innovation only at a Sleep Number store.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 91. Tonight, partly cloudy with a slight chance of thunderstorms. Low 74. Chance of rain 30%. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 87. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to AMHQ Weekend. We have severe weather ongoing right now across parts of the south, including the Florida Panhandle, where we have a tornado warning. Let's go to the radar. I can show you exactly where this is. You might think it's a little bit early for tornadoes, but not today. Okaloosa, Santa Rosa counties in the Florida Panhandle under a tornado warning until 7:15 a.m. Central Time. Laurel Hill and Munson, be prepared now for this storm moving through with the possibility of a tornado. I haven't received confirmation of that. Doesn't mean there isn't one, but there may be one. This is a storm. This is a supercell. It's rotating. It's got a couple of areas of relatively weak rotation right in there where you see where the greens and the reds are co-located. A couple of areas of rotation there. This is moving northeastward. Well, the storm is moving probably at about 30, but the worst part of it may be a little bit slower than that. Here's the timing out. Munson, 6:54 a.m. Central Time. Take cover now if you live there. The storm will be moving through. Let's have a look on the high definition radar. I'll tell you what, if there is a tornado in here, I'm not sure there is, but if there is one, it's probably going to be rain wrapped, because if you can see where the strongest rotation is, and it's not that strong, but there is some rotation here. Remember, we saw 2 on the other radar? There are those 2 areas of circulation right there where the thunderstorm updrafts are rotating, maybe producing a tornado. But the point I want to make is that those circulations are where it is raining pretty hard. So these storms will be hard to see. They are likely rain wrapped. And I think that's going to be the case as we go through the late morning hours. A lot of storms that move through, if indeed they produce tornadoes, may be rain wrapped. There's a lot of moisture, a lot of clouds. These are going to be high precipitation thunderstorms, so be on the lookout for that. And they will be upon you perhaps very quickly, because the warnings may come up with little or no advance warning. In the bigger view, let's look out across parts of the southeast. We've got storms really, parts in Mississippi, some in Alabama here. No severe warnings there, but we've got some here across parts of southern Alabama. Let me zoom in and see if I can get to that severe thunderstorm warning in Alabama for you. I don't want to leave you out. And this is a severe thunderstorm warning for Covington and Crenshaw counties in Alabama. I can tell you this storm is moving pretty quickly to the northeast at about 50 miles per hour. So Brantley, Laverne, and Rutledge, this storm producing perhaps winds up to 60 miles per hour in quarter-sized hail, will be moving through. So on the bigger view in the satellite sense, we're seeing a lot of cloud cover and thunderstorm activity across the region. So really, even out here where it's clear right now, I think we'll see redevelopment of storms later, right in that zone across parts of parts of northwestern Louisiana. But let's get to first things first. Here in the southeast, 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we'll see a lot more storms. Some of those isolated individual cells in Alabama and Georgia could be severe. Watch out for that. But later on today, East Texas and Louisiana, Arkansas, where it may be clearing out now, they may indeed get some big storms, possibility of supercells, and maybe even a tornado or 2 late this afternoon and this evening. Stay tuned for all the latest, including all the warnings. We'll be right back here on AMHQ Weekends.
I always dreamed of coming here. When my asthma symptoms returned, my doctor prescribed Dulera to help prevent them.
Dulera is for patients 12 and older whose asthma is not well controlled on a long-term asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Dulera will not replace a rescue inhaler for sudden symptoms.
A 6-month clinical study has shown Dulera helps significantly improve lung function.
Dulera contains formoterol, which increases the risk of death from asthma problems and may increase the risk of hospitalization in children and adolescents. Dulera is not for people whose asthma is well controlled with a long-term asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Once your asthma is well controlled, your doctor will decide if you can stop Dulera and prescribe a different asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Do not take Dulera more than prescribed. See your doctor if your asthma does not improve or gets worse.
Ask your doctor about Dulera.
Advanced Design makes it easy to protect your dog or cat from fleas and ticks. Discover Seresto, With the performance you expect from topicals in a non-greasy collar, Seresto provides protection against fleas and ticks for 8 months. Seresto.
I'm one.
I'm one.
I'm one.
I am one of the ones who discovered Always Discreet underwear for sensitive bladders.
It makes me feel secure, confident, and I feel protected.
I mean, I feel comfortable to move in them. They move with me.
I love Always Discreet underwear because of the fit. The fabric is very soft. I can wear whatever I want to wear.
Always Discreet's made me a very happy woman.
Join over 500,000 women who've discovered Always Discreet underwear. For more stories and your free sample, go to alwaysdiscreet.com so bladder leaks can feel like no big deal.
From the very start, I wanted FitCore to be different. If you come to me, it's because you want to do what I do because I don't do what other people do. It's kind of like creating a brand for myself.
Your business is unique. Your marketing should be too. With Vistaprint, it will be. Put your personal touch on 500 business cards starting at just $9.99. Just enter promo code TV500 at Vistaprint.com.
Stay true to yourself. You can do this how you want to do it, and somebody else is going to think that's awesome and want to do it that way too.
Vistaprint.com.
Where you get your weather matters.
This is a large and dangerous tornado.
That's why we get real local the moment you need it.
We are live in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, Florida.
Real accurate.
This is round one of the severe storms that are coming through.
From real experts on the ground.
That is a gust front for you right there in Dusty, Texas. Wow.
Where you get your weather matters.
This is basically what makes the Weather Channel
Keep the Weather Channel on. Here at the Weather Channel.
The Weather Channel is out in full force today.
Only the Weather Channel.
All right, Kate, let's get people up to speed. We have a tornado warning in effect for the counties of Okaloosa. Thank you for helping me there. And Santa Rosa, cities of Laurel Hill and Munson. That's in effect until, let's see, 7:15 local time. Again, this is in the Florida Panhandle. Kate.
Yeah, about to cross over onto the Alabama state line, right there to the west of Florala.
Yep.
Just north of Crestview, if you know where that is, right along I-10. So Munson, you're up. That's where we see that couplet on the radar. By couplet, we mean the radar, the vorticity signatures here. So this is the winds. They're moving in different directions in the atmosphere. They're on the radar, indicating that there's rotation within the storm. We do not have a confirmed tornado with this. It's radar indicated. But until 7:15 a.m. local time, you need to take cover if you live within this warned area.
Wise words, Kate. And something to know as we see this moving through places like Beaver Creek, there's the chance we could be seeing this into the afternoon. We see the tornado watch that was just issued from 2 p.m. Folks, a lot of times when these things happen, you have power outages. This is the time that you want to get out your severe weather radio. Your weather radio can be a big difference maker between life and death, Kate.
Yeah, you want your phone charged up and you want your radio here. We've got a lot of different advice for you to help keep your family weather radio during a tornado or during these severe storms that we're seeing today. So if you're in a home with a basement, obviously avoid windows. Get in the basement under some kind of sturdy protection. You want to cover yourself with like a pillow, a sleeping bag, a mattress if you have it. Not a bad idea.
Brilliant advice, no question about it. You also want to go to the lowest floor, small, send your room, likely a bathroom works, a closet's also fine. Maybe even going under a stairwell or an interior hallway with no windows, also good ideas, Kate.
Yeah, these are, you definitely want to avoid windows. That's going to be your biggest thing. Crouch as low as possible to the floor. Cover your head with your hands. Whatever you can do to make sure your family is prepared. Have these places in mind. Have your weather radio on hand. New tornado watch issued. This includes Southeast Alabama, Georgia, Florida Panhandle, 2 p.m.
25,000 mornings, give or take, is all we humans get. We spend them on treadmills, we spend them in traffic, and if we get lucky, really lucky, it dawns on us to go spend them in a world where a simple sunrise can still be magic. 25,000 mornings. Make sure some of them are pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
You totaled your brand new car. Nobody's hurt, but there will still be pain. It comes when your insurance company says they'll only pay 3/4 of what it takes to replace it. What are you supposed to do, drive 3/4 of a car? Now, if you had Liberty Mutual new car replacement, you'd get your whole car back. I guess they don't want you driving around on 3 wheels. Smart.
With Liberty Mutual new car replacement, we'll replace the full value of your car. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Do you regularly wear underwear? Do you wear underwear?
Yeah.
That,
yes.
yes.
I never wear underwear.
Never. Was that too much information?
Yes.
Now, do you think you can get too much information from your car?
No.
This is an email from my car. There are hundreds of diagnostics that the vehicle gathers and sends to me. Does anybody want to meet the sender of this email? This is the 2015 Chevy Malibu.
I love it.
Currently in our area, 77 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 91. Tonight, partly cloudy with a slight chance of thunderstorms. Low 74. Chance of rain 30%. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 87. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
And breaking weather right now, we have a tornado warning in Okaloosa County, Florida. Two really very active things we're watching this morning. The biggest, of course, along the Gulf Coast. Very, very dangerous situation, Kate.
50 million people under the risk of severe weather today. So even if you're not currently under that tornado warning, you have a risk as we go throughout the day. And we just had a new tornado watch that was issued. This expands a great deal across the south. Now, Dr. Greg Postel's in the lab for us. DGP, look at this massive area. Not surprising considering what we were watching on radar all morning, right?
Exactly right, Kate. I mean, that's exactly where the area that we thought more thunderstorms would develop, and they're doing so right now. Let's go to the radar. I've got to show you a tornado warning issued for parts of the Florida Panhandle. Now, remember, a watch is where conditions are favorable for the possibility of thunderstorms that produce tornadoes, but a warning means that there is the possibility of a tornado right now with a thunderstorm. And this one here is in the Florida Panhandle. The warned counties are Okaloosa and Santa Rosa until 7:15 a.m. Central Time. Let's have a look at this storm on the inside. Right now, it doesn't look like your classic hook echo, but looks can be deceiving because sometimes, especially in the south and near the Gulf Coast, when you get a lot of rain, these thunderstorms produce a lot of rain. Sometimes the circulations can be hidden inside of that rain. And this is a broad circulation, relatively speaking, that is indeed hidden inside some of that rain. So there's where the circulation is right here. The reds and the greens together like that. Not sure if there's a tornado with it now. I do not have any confirmation. That doesn't mean there isn't one. But the good news is when I look at this thing, I'm seeing that the rotation is relatively broad, but moving northeast and will be likely near or over Beaver Creek and Bradley in the next 15 minutes or so. So if you live in those locations, take cover now. There may be a tornado moving your way. But again, we've been watching this circulation move through, and on the high resolution radar, does not look like your classic setup, but I'll tell you what, right in here, I think is the suspected area for the greatest circulation. There is a little bit of a notch right in there, but it's kind of hard to detect if you just looked at the reflectivity by itself. So that's why we look inside of the thunderstorm and actually can see the air motions swirling around inside of there, if indeed they are. And there is some bit of a broad rotation here as well. Not much of one, just southeast of Munson, moving northeast at about 25 to 30 miles per hour. But you know what? These little things can spin up very quickly with little or advanced warning. So keep an eye to the skies today all across the southeast, including Alabama, including Georgia, the panhandle of Florida. These are the only active warnings that we have right now, the tornado warning and a severe thunderstorm warning that goes along with it. Elsewhere, don't have any, but again, they could pop up, and I think they will. Later on this morning and early this afternoon, we've got a tornado watch effective until 2 o'clock Central Time. Again, in this area, the conditions are favorable for the development of tornadic thunderstorms. So be on the lookout for that. They could spin up very quickly. On a broader view, we've got that severe weather risk that extends all the way back out to the west. It's not just in the southeast, because areas in parts of Texas and Louisiana may have some severe weather later today, and I'll show you in just a second. But let's time out the stuff in the southeast, going through Alabama and Georgia. These guys could be supercells and could be moving through the Atlanta area 6, 7 o'clock this evening. Be on the lookout for that. But then farther to the west, I put on the dew points here to show you what's going on out here. Big storms firing right likely along what's called a dry line. That's going to be moving eastward, and we'll have new storm development in areas that don't have much right now. 6, 7 o'clock tonight, watch out for the possibility of some big storms, supercells with the tornado threat as well through the late evening hours in parts of the Mid-South that far to the west. Kate, back to you with some safety tips on severe weather.
Yeah, Dr. Postel, you know, we've got people that are trying to make their Sunday plans. Those plans need to revolve around a safety plan. The area that's under a tornado watch right now, you don't have many basements there. We really can't support it with the soil. So if you live in a dorm or an apartment, this is a question that I get quite a lot. Avoid the windows. Make friends with the people that live below you. You want to go to the lowest floor, a small center room like a bathroom or a closet. You may want to check with your apartment, the front office, to see if they have an option of a place that you can go, maybe under a stairwell or an interior hallway. Again, no windows. Crouch as low as possible to the floor, and you want to cover your head with your hands. Now, here's some advice to help you keep your family weather ready during a tornado warning. If you're in an office building, go directly to an enclosed windowless area in the center of the building on the lowest possible floor. Interior stairwells, usually a good place to take shelter. You want to stay off the elevators because you could be trapped in them in the event the power is lost. Now, if you want to, if you're in a mobile home, very simply put, if you live in a mobile home, you're in the area of the tornado watch, plan to be somewhere safe during the day. It's time to get out of your house. I would say just spend your entire day someplace that's more sturdy and structured that you can be away from windows, because even a tied down mobile home is not a safe place to be even during the weakest of tornadoes. But what happens if you're out driving your car? You want to, if you can, pull over, seek shelter in a sturdy building. Now, you do not want to shelter under bridges and overpasses, meaning do not get out of your car and go up in an underpass thinking you'll be safe. Now, you definitely don't ever want to cross in front of a tornado either. So if your option is to take cover underneath a bridge or an overpass in your vehicle versus driving and crossing in front of that tornado, it's going to be a game time decision, but you definitely never want to cross in front of that. Now, something that we want to recommend that you have on hand right now, you may have to go in the back reaches of your closet to find it. You may have to run out to the store and grab it if you're in an area that's not currently under a tornado warning, are going to be a crank weather radio. The one that you see there on the right hand of your screen can be cranked up for power. Therefore, you're not relying on batteries. You're not relying on power to your home if you lose that. And so you can use that to receive alerts about your area in the event that you lose power. Now, you definitely want to have the Weather Channel app on your phone. You want to have us on air all day, Reynolds. We're going to continue to update you on this. But regardless, you just have to be ready, Reynolds.
Absolutely. You know, one thing you brought up that was really important is where to go in your house. When we were covering some tornadoes just over a week or so ago, just the west of the Chicago area, what's interesting is every single building that was affected by the tornado, in the small town where we happen to be, every building was affected. All of the interior rooms were sound.
That's where you want to be.
It's exactly the spot you want to be. If you can get to that spot,
walls.
You can get, again, you're absolutely right. If you're not near, if you don't have a basement, but if you're in the interior spot of your building, the odds of survival exponentially go up. So that's really the good news. Probably not going to see that issue across parts of the Midwest, but rain is going to be moving in, and is rain that's something you desperately need. You've had a deficit of it. You see the scattered showers moving through Duluth over towards Fargo. Some spots in the northern half of the state may actually see some snowfall. It's going to be all rain from St. Louis to Louisville along 64. And notice the deficit you have in terms of the rainfall and into parts of your snowfall. It is amazing how it's been affecting much of the Midwest, but this is the tonic that is certainly going to help some things. That area of low pressure certainly bringing the rain showers to parts of the Midwest, eventually moving into the Northeast. Coming up, we're going to talk more about the tornado warning affecting parts of the Gulf Coast. Sit tight.
Advanced Design makes it easy to protect your dog or cat from fleas and ticks. Discover Seresto. With the performance you expect from topicals in a non-greasy collar, Seresto provides protection against fleas and ticks for 8 months. Seresto.
良質熟練の技革新1000年の歴史を持つ文化が最先端の製造技術を使うと待てよあれこれってクライスラー
Reliability is now an American thing. Introducing the all-new Chrysler 200, America's import. Find it at Chrysler.com.
our eyes. They have a 200-degree range of sight, which is good for me. Hey! And bad for the Barkley twins.
Take care of your eyes with Centrum Silver Women. Multivitamins with 60% more vitamin D.
Our brains can control over 600 muscles at the same time. Here's what 90 of them can do.
Take care of your brain with Centrum Silver Women. Multivitamins for the most important parts of you.
He says she's an undisciplined overwaterer. She claims he's a cruel underwaterer. With Miracle Grow Moisture Control Potting Mix, plants only get water when they need it. Fight ended or shifted. Miracle Grow. Life starts here.
Introducing the new Can-Am Spyder F3. With a cruising riding position and the most advanced vehicle stability system in the industry, you'll ride with a feeling of complete freedom and confidence. Visit your Can-Am dealer and test drive the Spyder F3 today.
Tonight at 9.
One man's trash
Get to work.
is another man's totally awesome beer can space heater.
Hi.
Brainstormers. Tonight at 9. Only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 77 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, a mix of clouds and sun. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 91. Tonight, late night thunderstorms. Low 74. Winds south at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Chance of rain 40%. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 87. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
I'm Sam. Jim's here as well this morning.
We're all in this together.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was good.
And if you're watching AMHQ, then you know we got you up and out this morning. We love to see your pictures. All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well.
And welcome back, folks. We do have a tornado alert to share with you. Tornado warning in effect for parts of Florida.
Yeah.
Alabama, Florida, and Georgia all being affected by a tornado watch that gets, what, 2 till 2 o'clock in the afternoon?
Yeah, we've got all the details going on right now with Dr. Greg Postel. He's in the lab for us with the very latest. Now, Greg, this is an area that we were watching earlier this morning. That large, massive area of showers and thunderstorms offshore, is that going to be what's going to be prompting some possible additional tornado warnings?
I think so. Later on this morning, we'll have to watch its progress as it moves inland. But right now, with some of the storms that are already onshore in parts of the Florida Panhandle, we've had some tornado warnings already. Right now, for Okaloosa and Santa Rosa County, the tornado warning that was in effect was just canceled by the National Weather Service. That's good news there. It was for this storm right in here, just to the west of Crestview. Let's have a look inside of that, and I can show you why it was canceled, because the rotation here, you can see it's a broadly rotating circulation, no doubt about that. It's a supercell, but the rotation is broad enough in here to let the tornado warning expire. We do not think there's a tornado with this particular storm. Doesn't mean there won't be one in the future. Just in case, as this storm moves on off toward the northeast, if you live in Good Hope or Falco, just keep an eye on this one. It had the possibility of producing a tornado and still likely has winds up to 60 miles per hour with it. So it is a pretty nasty storm, and you can see that on the reflectivity. Here's some of the cities, Cannontown, Blackman. But the worst part of the storm would be the part that might potentially produce a tornado would be right in here. So just to the west of Cannontown, that is the area. And I can tell you what, it is very likely hiding in rain. So that is another issue that we have to deal with. Very high precipitation storms that are moving in from the Gulf of Mexico. A lot of moisture and circulations, brief spin-ups that do occur with these could be very difficult to see and move very quickly as well. Let's look in the bigger picture right now across parts of the Florida Panhandle. You can see stuff rolling in off the Gulf of Mexico. I got my eye on a lot of these storms. They're huge. And as they come into the Florida Panhandle, they will bring a lot of rain, thunder, and lightning, and maybe even some severe weather with them. So stay tuned if you live on the Florida Gulf Coast, all the way, say, from Apalachicola on all toward the west. Farther to the northwest, we have some storms rolling through Alabama. No severe there, no severe in parts of northwest Georgia and southern Tennessee. That's good news. But I think we're going to see some later on today back out in here where they're not seeing any right now. How about that? I'll talk about that in just a second. Let me outline the tornado watch that the Storm Prediction Center has just issued till 2 o'clock Central Time. There it is across parts of Georgia, Alabama, and Florida. This may be one of several that come later on this afternoon. We'll have to keep an eye on this area in particular. We have an area outlined as well for the possibility of severe thunderstorms with tornadoes in this region. But the tornado watch, again, it lasts until 2 o'clock. And it is sitting right in the area that we have outlined for severe weather that extends all the way back out to the west as well, including Little Rock and Houston. Yes, that far west. So let's time it out and start in the southeast first, because here we go. Big storms rolling through Alabama, parts of Georgia. Watch out in the Atlanta area. There could be some big storms. Also in parts of South Carolina as well. And then continuing on through about 7 or 8 o'clock. But did you see out to the west? Did you see some of those storms? 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon, dry line. I put the moisture on here, the dew points. There is a sharp gradient right in here, just ahead of the cold front. Storms will likely be firing along that zone later on this afternoon and evening and rolling eastward. Tell you what, some of these storms could be severe as well. They could be isolated supercells with the possibility of producing severe weather, including tornadoes, guys. And those will roll on east from parts of Arkansas, Louisiana, and into Mississippi overnight tonight. Guys, back to you.
All right, Dr. Greg Postel, thanks so much. So obviously we have the watch that's affecting the tri-state area of Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. But again, farther west you have to be, and farther north too, you have to be advised that we may see this situation unfold in many other spots.
Very big area.
Yeah,
a large area of real estate where you need to be coming up with that family plan and having it ready right now. This is not a Sunday in which you can just go out on your Sunday stroll, maybe go to church, go to brunch afterwards, whatever your plans may be. You have to be alert to the weather and paying attention to it. We're not saying it's going to be all tornadoes all the time or anything like that, but you could see damaging winds, and these things are moving at 55 miles an hour. So that's going to coming up on you pretty quickly, you know, where you may be just driving down the road and then wham, you're in a severe thunderstorm.
You know, you're right about that. And it's not as though this is happening over the open plains where you have that clear field of vision. You've got rolling hills through parts of Alabama, through portions of Georgia, and even northern Florida. You have a little bit of a wave to the landscape, so it can be very difficult. One of the best things you can do is stay advised. Weather radios, Kate, we got a couple to share with people. You've got to get out there. Just a lot of times your power goes out. With these, you can still stay informed. Very, very important. Tornado Watch got that for you too, Kate. Take a look.
Yeah, that goes until 2 p.m. This extends across southeast Louisiana into Georgia. I'm sorry, southeast Alabama into Georgia, Panhandle of Florida.
True Green presents the Yardleys.
Drives down the lane. Beautiful.
Oh, come on.
The big man underneath.
Come on, it was in the pink there.
Puts it up off the glass and it's in for 2.
This is more than a lawn. This is a True Green lawn. Live life outside with True Green, America's #1 lawn care company. Spring is on. Start your True Green lawn plan today. True Green, live life outside.
Advanced design makes it easy to protect your dog or cat from fleas and ticks. Discover Seresto. With the performance you expect from topicals in a non-greasy collar, Seresto provides protection against fleas and ticks for 8 months. Seresto.
19 years ago, we thought, wow, how is there no way to tell the good from the bad? So we gave people the power of the review. And now Angie's List is revolutionizing local service again. You can easily buy and schedule services from top-rated providers. Conveniently stay up to date on progress and effortlessly turn your photos into finished projects with our Angie's List app. Visit angieslist.com today.
Started my Camry. Remembered the choices I've made. To be bold where others are scared. To show her right from wrong. And realized my little girl had become an amazing human who will make choices of her own. Toyota. Let's go places.
I'm Sam. Jim's here as well this morning.
We're all in this together.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was good.
And if you're watching AMHQ, then you know we got you up and out this morning. We love to see your pictures. All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well.
Homeowner Protection Services can help save your home. We specialize in foreclosure assistance, and that's all we do. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, being threatened with foreclosure, have been denied a loan modification, or been the victim of a predatory loan, it's critical that you call Homeowner Protection Services now. Homeowner Protection Services has a network of attorneys, and our agents are available to speak to you now. New laws are in effect that may save your home. So call Homeowner Protection Services now.
Investment opportunity doesn't sleep. It's always up, always working. It's 9 a.m. somewhere, and opportunity is there having its second cup of coffee. You could crisscross the world to find it, or let Franklin Templeton spot it for you. We have over 600 experts across the globe, on the ground where it's happening. So no matter where or when investment opportunity emerges, we're actively at work to help you seize it. Franklin Templeton Investments. Gain from our perspective.
It was right on top of us. And then it hit. And we took it to the edge. Didn't give up.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, a mix of clouds and sun. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 91. Tonight, late night thunderstorms. Low 74. Winds south at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Chance of rain 40%. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 87. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to AMHQ Weekends, guys. We have some severe weather ongoing right now. Let's go to the maps because we have a tornado warning in southeastern Alabama. Here's where it is, about 40 miles east-southeast of Montgomery, Alabama, right there. That is the tornado warning. Let's go right to it, and I'll show you. I think there's a tornado inside of this classically shaped supercell right in here. You can see we've got the hook echo very close to Peachburg with the circulation about like that. And I can tell you right now, I will put on the storm relative velocity to show you that, yes, indeed, we've got a very tight coupling in here, likely a tornado vortex signature with motion strongly coupled like that. So we have a cyclonic circulation, likely a tornado very near Peachburg, and I can put on the correlation coefficient to see if indeed there are some non-meteorological objects in that circulation. And yes, it does look like some of the blues right here near Peachburg suggests that perhaps there is some debris associated with that circulation. So there may progress near Peachburg, Alabama right now. The storm is moving northeast at about, what, 25, Justin? Is that right? How fast northeast? At 25 miles per hour. So it is going in this direction. Can we time this out? Can we go to a max 51 and time this out? I'll put on it here, and let's show you where this one is. As we go through, say, the next, I don't know, 20 minutes or so, look at some of these cities that will be perhaps impacted by this storm. Hannon, Boремville, Marvin. Be very careful out there. This storm likely is producing a tornado right now. So take cover immediately as it moves on off toward the northeast. Again, going back to the high definition radar, I can zoom in even further and show you exactly where that tornado would be, very close to Peachburg. There's the classic hook echo, guys. They don't get much more well-defined than that, and it's right in there that we see a very tight circulation near Peachburg. Again, likely a tornado there, so take cover in the Peachburg area as this storm moves on off toward the northeast at 25. Much farther to the south in the Panhandle of Florida, new storms are coming in off the Gulf of Mexico. Okaloosa counties is under a severe thunderstorm warning. Destin, Niceville, Valparaiso, 7:30 a.m. Central Time. Watch out for a big storm coming in. Again, this stuff moving off the Gulf of Mexico can produce tornadic circulations as these huge storms move in, and they perhaps tighten up a little bit once they cross the coast. So it is a long afternoon for us and a long morning across parts of the Florida Panhandle, all the way from Gulf Shores through Destin and on areas into the Panhandle of Florida, and southern Alabama, guys. This area, watch out, is lighting up right now, and it is going to be moving in that direction toward west central Georgia. The Storm Prediction Center has that tornado watch out for precisely that region. So if you live in western Georgia, eastern Alabama, think about what you might do now. The weather is likely going to get worse over the next several hours as some big storms, potentially tornadic storms, move from southwest to northeast across that region. That is exactly why we have that tornado warning, watch out, and over a much larger area, the threat for severe weather continuing all throughout the day, including places as far west as Texas, Arkansas, and Louisiana. Stay tuned for all the latest. Guys, back to you.
All right, certainly loud times this morning, but you know, Kate, it was last night in parts of North Texas, at Arlington's Globe Life Park.
Yeah, that's where the Rangers play. It was for the ACM Party for a Cause concert. Now, they were delayed for 2 hours. There was a severe thunderstorm warning in the area during that time. You can see the downpour just left everything a mess. Joining us now by phone, one of those concert goers, Darlene Pettit. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Darlene,
good morning.
Good morning. Could you please tell us about your experience at the event?
Well, they put us out on the field about 6:30, 6:45, and then they finally covered. All of a sudden, they started covering all the equipment, and they just made an announcement that they were going to. Everybody needed to go for cover. Since we were on the field, they took us all into the underground tunnel, which we were there until 10 p.m.
We're seeing a lot of video of people that were standing kind of on the outskirts of this that were not in the underground tunnels there. Now, would you say that that was obviously we're looking at people dancing on the screen right now. That's not what we're talking about. But did you see people that were having to stay kind of exposed, or was everyone put in the underground tunnels?
Well, if you were on the field, you were in the underground tunnel. If you were in any of the seats that were not covered, you were told to go back inside to the stadium into the covered part. Some people just wanted to stay out.
During a severe thunderstorm warning. Were you guys notified in any way that this was a severe thunderstorm warning?
Yes, they told us. They made a big announcement explaining exactly what was going to happen.
And it was not a mandatory evacuation for everybody?
They highly recommended that everybody go for cover.
Okay, Darlene Pettit, thanks so much for your time. You know, certainly that is what was happening then. What's happening right now is that we have got the tornado warning that remains in effect for parts of southeastern Alabama. Folks, Dr. Greg Postel was telling you moments ago, we might be seeing a bit more of this. Kate, parts of 3 states now affected with this tornado watch that's in effect until 2 p.m.
We may have a tornado underway with that tornado warning for Bullock and Macon counties in Alabama. If you live in either of those counties, it's time to take cover near Peachburg, Alabama. We'll bring you the latest update next.
You pay your auto insurance premium every month on the dot. You're like the poster child for paying on time. And then one day you tap the bumper of a station wagon. No big deal until your insurance company jacks up your rates. You freak out. What good is having insurance if you get punished for using it? Hey, insurance companies, newsflash. Nobody's perfect.
For drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise your rates due to your first accident. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Today, I'm going to fight hunger. Today, I don't want to be hungry. We just have to buy food. My family gets the food we need. I'm so glad we could help. I'm so glad someone helped.
Hunger lives closer than you think. Purchase participating items at Walmart, and you can help secure a meal for someone through Feeding America food banks.
Joseph A. Bank presents Your Choice, Your Savings. Purchase 1 suit and receive 3 additional suits free. Plus, all traveler shirts are 3 for $99 through Tuesday. Joseph A. Bank, the new tradition since 1905.
My feet felt so heavy at the end of the day.
They used to get really tired.
Until I started gelling.
I got Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
When they're in my shoes, my feet and legs feel less tired.
It's like walking on a wave.
Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
I'm a believer.
Stanley Steamer is the first carpet cleaning service certified asthma and allergy friendly. It's our new standard of clean. Call about our $99 carpet cleaning special.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer, your certified cleaner.
You could sit at your computer and read all about zero-turn mowers. Click, scroll, tweet, or you could just sit on a John Deere Z435 Easy Track and feel its power. You'll know it'll get the job done fast. When it's time to pick a mower, you've got to get on one. Visit your local John Deere dealer for a test drive today. Sign up to take your turn on a Z435 and save $100 on your purchase. Nothing runs like a Deere.
I'm Sam. Jim's here as well this morning.
We're all in this together.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was good.
And if you're watching AMHQ, then you know we got you up and out this morning. We love to see your pictures. All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, a mix of clouds and sun. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High. Tonight, late night thunderstorms. Low 74. Winds south at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Chance of rain 40%. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 87. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Weather Channel's most watched original program,
And it just hit us.
is back.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
And welcome back to AMHQ Weekend. We have had a few scattered showers in Atlanta. The shot complement to the Coca-Cola headquarters looking to the south, and we see the raindrops. But I'll tell you what, Kate, farther to the southwest, we've got worse weather in parts of Alabama.
Indeed, we do. And some of that is heading to the northeast, heading toward Atlanta at some point. But man, look at the radar on this. This is the tornado warning currently in effect in Alabama. Bullock and Macon counties, Peachburg, Alabama. Get in your safe spot in your home now. This is a tornado warning until 7:45 a.m. Central Time. We're going to have Dr. Greg Postel break it down for you in just a minute. But if you live in that area, here's what you need to do.
Yeah, number one, you got to avoid windows. And one of the biggest reasons why we want you to avoid windows is because when that glass breaks and you have the strong winds, Kate, that glass becomes a projectile, potentially a deadly thing. Speaking of which, Kate, we do have a new tornado warning that just popped up.
And this is an area that we were watching earlier this morning, a little bit farther to the east, Walton County, Florida, there in the Panhandle. Dr. Greg Postel in the lab with the very latest on these 2 tornado warnings.
Yeah, guys, let's have a look at those 2. These are in east central Alabama, one, and then another one just now coming on board onto the Florida shoreline here with the Gulf Coast, just south of I-10. Let's go at one of them first here. This one right here, about 40 miles east-southeast of Montgomery, Alabama. Let's look at this guy a little bit tighter. It's got a classic hook echo appearance to it in the radar reflectivity. This is a rotating supercell with inflow coming in about like that and the outflow coming around. So the circulation inside of the storm is hiding in there. And let me go back to that because I want to show you what I was noticing on the radar, that with that particular cell, I'm going to go back just one step here. With that particular storm, again, just northeast of Peachburg, Alabama, there is a relatively strong circulation still there, although it is weaker now. That's a good sign. Perhaps it does not have a tornado with it. I think it did about 10 minutes ago. I'm not so sure it does right now. I can put on the correlation coefficient, which has a look at the non-meteorological, if there are indeed non-meteorological targets in there. And maybe there are some here, but the signature is not quite as obvious as it was about 10 minutes ago. But we will keep an eye on this storm that is still potentially producing a tornado, with the storm relative velocities showing you a circulation about like that has weakened somewhat in the last 10 minutes, but still it is moving on off toward the northeast at about 25 miles per hour. Now, can we time that one out? Let me change graphics here and show you that this circulation, this potentially tornadic storm, will be near Hannon, Creek Stand, and Boramville in Alabama at those times. So take cover now if you live in those locations. This dangerous storm is moving your way. Now let me go back here and step forward and look at some of the other storms across the region. I'm going to go down to the tornado warning here, just to the east of Destin, Florida, right here. This is a nasty cluster of storms here, including Walton County in Florida, where we've got that tornado warning in effect until 8 a.m. Central Time. And you can see it is a beast of a storm. Now, I'm going to go look inside of it, see if I can find, indeed, if there is any rotation in there. And I'm going to look at what's called the storm relative velocities to see if indeed, and yes, look at that, right in here. That's where the strongest circulation, if there is indeed a tornado, in this case it would be a waterspout because it is offshore, that's where it is likely moving in, let's see what direction. I'm going to zoom it out, go back about last 15 minutes or so and animate this to show you. There it is, right in here. So the storm, the circulation, this tight circulation moving onshore about like that. I'm going to zoom in even more, see if I can get a couple of cities in here and see if you can... looks like it's a few miles to the east of Destin, perhaps just to the east of Miramar Beach in Florida. This storm right in here, if there is indeed a tornado, again, it's right here, likely a waterspout now over the Gulf of Mexico, but about ready to come on shore on like that, just to the east of Miramar Beach in Florida. This potentially dangerous storm has to be reckoned with. If you live on, for example, 30A, east of Miramar Beach, take cover now. This storm is moving through, and it probably has high winds with it, even if there's not a tornado. And of course, a lot of lightning and rain. And where that came from, there's a whole lot more over the Gulf of Mexico. I'm concerned that when storms come on board, if they are isolated, they may become tornadic and have spin-ups along the way. So be very careful this morning along the eastern Alabama coastline and the Florida Panhandle coastline of the Gulf of Mexico. Very dangerous times this morning and early afternoon. And the bigger picture, what we've got here is a lot of storminess across the region. I've also got my eye on some areas here in parts of western Georgia. I think I can zoom in on some of those. We don't have any warnings with these storms to the southwest of Atlanta, but they are isolated and they are showing some signs of that they have some, I would say, early signs of rotation in them, for example, to the west of Newman and north of Newman and Hogansville as well. So be careful in the Atlanta area and just to the west of the Atlanta area. There may be some pretty big storms that may trigger some warnings in the near future. So we'll keep an eye on these, and if something pops up, of course, we'll have it. This whole area is in a tornado watch. Possibility of tornadoes exists with these thunderstorms in this region. The watch is in effect until 2 o'clock this afternoon. Would not be surprised to see an extension of a watch of some kind, either a tornado or severe thunderstorm watch in this area beyond that. And then, of course, we have to watch out for more storms on off toward the west. And I'll talk much more about that when I come back around. I'm going to send it back to you guys in the studio.
You know, even though we have the tri-state area that's covered in terms of the tornado watch, better idea for everyone to be advised and some advice, because we may see these conditions spread a bit more wider coverage as we get to the afternoon.
Right, especially once we see some of that instability increase once again back in Louisiana and some other places. Another place that we're keeping an eye out this morning is in Atlanta, Georgia. That's where you are under a flash flood watch, just FYI. Let's give you some tips on tornado safety, what you can do if you're in an office building. There's Atlanta from the Coca-Cola World headquarters. Low ceilings there, but the flash flood watch extends across much of the southeast. Much of Georgia now included into South Carolina. So you know the ground's saturated. That's another concern you need to be on the alert for today, even if you're not under the threat of a tornado.
Low-lying areas, places with poor drainage, you got to be advised. Also be advised on this, folks. We want you to go directly to an enclosed windowless area in your home, whatever building you happen to be in. The lowest floor possible, always the best thing. Also, Kate, interior stairwells, a good, safe place to be to take shelter.
Yeah, good news is not a lot of people in offices today. So if you are in one, stay off the elevator. Obviously, you could lose power in that area. Now, if you're in a mobile home, that's a whole nother story.
So true.
If you live anywhere in that tornado watch area and you live in a mobile home, plan to spend your day somewhere else safe.
Yeah, even if those mobile homes are tied down, that's not enough to really withstand the strong forces that you have during these tornadoes. Even the weakest tornadoes, you want to get in the nearest sturdy, permanent building you can find.
Okay, here's another look at the tornado watch in effect across Alabama, Georgia, the Florida Panhandle. We have 2 active tornado warnings that we are going to break down the latest analysis of with Dr. Greg Postel when we come back.
See you.
Toughest spills are no match for the ultimate vehicle protection. Custom fit WeatherTech floor liners. Order yours today at WeatherTech.com or call 1-800-CarMats. WeatherTech. proudly made in America.
It tastes better when you grow it. It tastes even better when you share it. It's not hard. It's doable. It's growable. Get going with Growables. Miracle Grow. Life starts here.
And just like that, the snow is gone. And off you go. And every frozen second spent willing this day to come is just a warm, fading memory.
Are you sending your kids to school with an allergy medicine that may make them drowsy? Only Children's Claritin provides non-drowsy 24-hour allergy relief.
And it's the #1 pediatrician recommended non-drowsy brand.
In class and out, your kids can live Claritin Clear. Discover Can-Am's wide range of industry-leading vehicles during the Ready to Ride sales event. For a limited time, the Outlander L starts at $59.99. Or get the versatile Commander, the powerful Outlander, and the turbocharged Maverick XDS with cash rebates up to $2,000. Don't miss out. Visit your local dealer during the Ready to Ride sales event. Can-Am, the ride says it all.
The Fiat 500 isn't alone anymore. It's part of a big Italian family.
Constant Contact gives you all the best email marketing tools, like newsletters and event invites. So whether you run a small business or a nonprofit, you can connect with, well, everyone. Try email marketing free at ConstantContact.com.
Currently in our area, 77 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, a mix of clouds and sun. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 91. Tonight, late night thunderstorms. Low 74. Winds south at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Chance of rain 40%.